Welcome, guys, to another episode of She Talks. And today we'll be talking about women inclusion and empowerment in the society. We'll be talking about how we can contribute to providing a more supportive environment for women in this age and time. And that's the reason why we have Ejiro Lucky in the studio with us today, a child advocate and a woman empowerment leader who will be giving us insight in the challenges and opportunities women face in our society today. Welcome. Thank you very much for
Thank you so
joining
much for
us.
having me.
How are you
I'm
doing?
good. I'm very well, thank you. How are you too?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
also, as usual, we have Jumoke in the building, a content creator, a presenter, and a fashion designer. Welcome to me.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm very good. Thank
All
you.
right, okay. So, Lucky, I think I would like to ask you
Okay.
this question. What is that drive? What sparked your interest in women empowerment from the very beginning?
Okay. So, as far as I can remember, I've always loved children. So I work with them in different areas, especially in the non-profit space.
Okay.
So we go to remote communities, provide access to education for them, ensure that they have access to health services. And the
Okay.
likes. But then we realize that there's only so much you can do for a child outside the mother because the mother is a primary caregiver of the child. And then we had instances where you probably want to send the child to school, you probably want to ensure that the child is healthy, but then the mother is not fully informed as to why you're doing all of this.
True.
So we had to start, educating women to see that your primary role is not just to give birth to children, you have to be as involved in their lives as every other person, if not more than, because you give birth to this child.
Exactly.
So that was where the empowerment initiatives began from. We had to start educating them, empowering them financially, because even those who knew what to do,
Yeah.
they found out that they lacked the resources, to go about that. So that was how I think my journey to empowerment started. We started with women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Provide access to them for funding, ensuring that they had access to knowledge and tools to thrive. And in the nonprofit space as well, we see that women are educated, provide access to I call it non-formal learning
Yeah.
for them. So access to maybe skills as artisans, for those who needed support in their little petty businesses, we support them as well. So that's how it's been. And so far, I think it's been very good because when a woman is empowered, like they say, the family is empowered
Very
because
true.
the first person she looks out for is the child.
Yeah.
So far, I think that's what really has sparked my interest, and it drives me every day to see that as much as we want to reach children, we are sure that the parents, especially the mothers, are involved.
That's a very beautiful one. Really beautiful. So, what are some common stereotypes, gender stereotypes that needs to be challenged in the society, women particularly?
Okay, so I'm going to be very sincere with you because the truth is I deal with these people one on one. So we work in northern Nigeria to some extent.
Okay.
And when we started out, we realized that there was still this bias, first of all, against the girl child's education. We still see families who want just the boy child to be more educated because they feel when the girl is educated, it's a waste. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they just get married. But then the mothers who know better, who know that, I think if I had probably gotten an education, I would not be where I am today. I would fare better. They have no voice to speak out because ultimately the father has to make all of the decisions. So I think that bias towards women, where it comes to you have to always remain silent.
Yes.
I know better for my kids has to break because ultimately I don't know about many people, but I feel no one knows better how to cater to a child than the mother.
Than the mother.
Right. So we need to allow women, especially from the homes first, to have a voice. Not saying anything about challenging the male authority and all, not
Okay.
at all, but at least a woman should be able to make suggestions, give advice, so that the father can at least listen. So if she feels my daughter can go to school, I think she should be educated.
Yeah.
She should be able to say that freely, So women should have a voice starting first from the family,
Okay.
beyond the other areas of government and every other area of society, starting from the homes 1st. Women should be encouraged to speak up, especially when it comes to issues in the family that affect them. That's one. And then secondly, I think that notion that a woman's place is still just supposed to be at home. I don't know.
Or in the
I don't
kitchen.
know. Or in
It's
the
very
kitchen.
absorbed.
I tell
This age
you.
and time.
Like, because the sad part again is many women still don't even know the power that they wield. They're just so comfortable being at home, just doing their chores and
Yeah,
just being
housewife.
well, that might be okay, but I mean, you have a purpose, right? You have a plan. God has a plan for your life. So that should also matter, because at the end of the day, even these children you cater to and do all of the things for are going to get what
And live their lives.
and live their lives. And then what happens to you? Then you're trying to wonder, what have I done with myself? So I think women need to look inwards and first of all say, I can be more, I can do better.
Okay.
And rally around to get the support that they need. We live in an age and time where, fortunately, women have been supported to step out of their comfort zones. So I encourage every woman to go out there, take advantage of the opportunities that come your way, be better. And when men see that, okay, I think this woman knows her stuff, she knows what she's talking about, ultimately they may have to give you the support that you demand.
Yes.
So
And the
I feel
respect that we deserve.
Thank you.
Jimmy, what are common stereotypes attached to women?
I think she has said it all. And let's talk about the northern part of Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm actually grateful that I'm not from that part. And I'm so grateful that the Yoruba and the Igbos, we are far ahead of them. We're doing
Please
very
don't
well
come
for
for us,
ourselves. No, that's actually the bitter truth. We are doing well
Yes.
for ourselves when it comes to education and training our females to
Yes.
be self-confident and self-independent. I think we are doing way better than the Northerners.
Actually.
So now let's talk about the stereotype generally.
Yes.
This thing that, I don't know, everything is also based on women, the wives, the mothers. Let's put it on them. Because I was watching a video yesterday where we were talking about this masculinity in men that makes them feel like men cannot express their emotion. You don't have to cry. You don't have to show your feelings.
Yes.
And someone was asking that, where does this thing comes from? And at the end of the day, we're able to trace it to our mothers because obviously mothers are very close to the child more than the fathers. And it is always the mothers that always tell you that, oh, so your sister is crying, now you two are crying. Oh, your sister is doing something, you two you are doing. And from there, they start building this thing that, okay, I'm a man, I'm not supposed to do this, I'm not supposed. And
Yeah.
female, we feel like, okay, let's talk about siblings relationship now. Being a female elder sister, there's some things that you do and your parents will still scold you. But when your younger siblings, who is a male, do, it's just normal to them.
Yeah,
like
true.
going out and coming. I know it's
Come back
actually
late at
good,
night.
like for your own safety and all of that. But men too are not, they are not excluded when it comes to insecurity and other form of dangerous activities.
Exactly.
But you allowing your male child to just go out or do whatsoever he wants to do and not giving any accountability for it. But when your female child does the same thing, it is bad. Let's talk about marriage now. As a woman,
Yes.
some men feels like I can't accept my wife working. I don't want my wife to even have, high income than me.
Yeah.
We've seen interviews online where they ask you, can you marry somebody that
is
earns
earning
more than
high,
you?
yes.
I even saw they turned one to a meme. I can never do such a thing. I don't know if you've seen it online. Like people feel like women, you need to be below in everything you do, which is not okay. It is. I feel like those are past in the days. It's no
Yes.
longer what is in vogue now.
Right now.
And I feel as a lady yourself, you need to always stand up, learn more. Because obviously our parents will just do what they can do.
Yeah.
The remaining is left to us to do ourselves. I watched one video one time like that. I can't remember the name though, but it said the first female to perform a surgery on a woman to give birth, and it was a successful surgery. That person then, it was in the 18th century then,
Yeah.
and women were not allowed to go to school or have any form of education. It's just for you to be at home, assist your parent and all of that. She had to pretend to be a man, dress to be a
really?
man,
Wow.
to go to a medical school,
Yes.
and she was the first doctor to perform surgery, and it was a success. It was later when she died, she could not even come out to know how dangerous it was. So
To
later when
say
she
that she's
died,
a
and they
woman.
wanted to bury her.
Wow.
Obviously, if they want to bury people, you have to
Yes.
naked them and
Exactly.
bait them. That was when they realized that she's a female all through her life. See how dangerous and how disheartening something like that is.
Yeah.
But now, thank God that things are getting better for us. I just feel like as a
Okay.
lady and as a wife, you need to educate your children, you need to talk to them, and you also have a life, like she said, you have a life outside marriage.
Exactly.
Don't just put it that, okay, because I'm a wife, what I need to do is just to cook, dress my children up to school, make sure I obey my husband's commands.
Yeah.
No, you have to do something for yourself so that whenever you get old or you have it in mind that, okay, I'm able to fulfill some certain things,
Exactly.
not just you worshiping someone all the time of your life. So that's just it for me.
Anyways, I'm happy that, I mean, Gen Z, all of this we just said, I think it has to be millennials and those in the past.
Yeah.
I don't think you be a Gen Z now and you think your purpose in life is to sit down
sit
in
down
your house and
house.
take care of your children and just serve your husband. I feel like we know better. So let's talk about women in the workforce. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about how a woman and a man would apply for same position, same role. And most often than not, they feel like a man can do this better, or the pay roles will be different, same position, but then they feel a man should earn higher. Why is that?
I think the stereotypes exist because, of course, we cannot deny the fact that there are jobs men can do when it comes to maybe physical
Yes.
activities. Yeah, maybe in the construction space. We don't deny. We don't.
don't-
argue.
Yeah,
No
true.
denial.
So in those spaces, well, it's okay to say, okay, we prefer men. But even then, in that circle, we know there are some little tasks, administrative tasks, women can do.
Yeah, definitely.
So rather than block them out completely, there should be a leeway to say, okay, women are also encouraged to come in, even though we would sort of maybe restrict the opportunities available to
Yes.
you. But ultimately, I think we should give women a chance to decide what they can and cannot
And
do.
cannot do.
Because that's what it falls back to. You don't make the decisions for a woman. You don't say, you can't do this, don't
Yes,
worry.
yes,
a
yes.
man can do it. Let her be the one to decide that, okay, I
Okay.
don't think I can do this. And you know, women, we love ourselves a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know that when it's too hard and too demanding, we
I have to
don't
step
want
back.
to go
Yeah,
there.
no stress.
Exactly. Rather than restrict women. So I think that's one issue men still have, especially in the workplace. You know, before now we keep hearing women have no place in the boardroom. It's a place where men just get to talk, decide, and make decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's you taking the power of decision making from a woman, which is not fair. Because the truth is, you don't know how powerful a woman's mind is. In fact, I heard a man say that men's power actually is just his strength for the most part. But the woman's power, guess what? It's in her mind.
Oh, really?
So when you say a woman cannot be in the boardroom, that's a lie because that's where her strength lies.
Yes.
But we thank God so far we've seen some progress. I mean, when it comes to some top organizations right now, we see women in the boardroom. I think in
Yes.
the banking space now, you need to have a certain percentage specifically allocated to women.
Women.
So we've made progress. And
Even
I
in
mean, the results are
politics.
there. You look at
Yes.
a woman like Ibuku and Woshika, look at the amazing stuff she's doing because
Beautiful.
she had the platform, she had the opportunity.
Yes.
So ultimately, give women the chance to decide
Okay.
what exactly it is that they can do, right? Let them make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Do not tell them you don't fit in here, you don't fit in there. Let them be in the space. And when they try out and it doesn't work, everyone sees it, right?
Yeah.
But when you don't give them the chance in the first place, that's just giving your judgment even before
Okay.
giving them the opportunity, which is not fair.
Okay. All right, Jimmy, what advice would you give to women entering the workforce today? Our fellow girls. What advice would you give?
First thing I'm going to say is we have to prove them wrong.
Oh.
Yes, because they are wrong. For you to think a woman cannot do this, cannot do that, she has spoken well. And let me just chip in politics side to
Okay.
it now. This part, this saying that they used to feel like a woman cannot be in politics or a woman can be in politics, but they used to say a woman cannot hold some high level ranks
Yeah.
in politics. That saying is so absurd, and I feel like in this generation, this year, this civilization and everything, we don't really have to talk that way. And if things keep going like this,
Yeah.
if any of we ladies, we women, we're able to get to that position, we should just give in our best, you know, prove them that we can do it way better without our emotion. I feel like the only thing they're always using against us is our emotion, because women act on emotion quickly compared to the way male gender is going
Yes.
to act. So we just have to give in our best, try hard, you know, prove them wrong. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
All right, now let's move to the men. You know, let's move to their side. How can men be better allies in promoting gender equality?
I think that the first thing a man can or should realize first of is a woman is first a person before she's a woman.
Oh, beautiful.
You know, because you don't just look at a woman and all you see is just a weaker vessel. That's really not also fair.
Yeah.
Just look at her as an individual with a personality, with everything else that you have, except that she's female, which the difference, of course, many times is just a physical attribute.
Yes.
So I think when a man understands that fundamentally, it makes a lot of difference as to how they perceive women. And then you find a man who is a husband treating his wife better than he would have
As a partner,
as a
not as a
partner,
woman.
not just as
Yes, weaker.
So I think that the orientation has to change.
Okay.
Yeah, fundamentally perceive her as a person first.
Yes.
So that everything you do for her is because you understand that this person is a human like me. She's a person, an individual like me, and whatever I think benefits me as a person also, would benefit her as a person, and that should
Yes.
affect every approach and every, when it comes to
Okay.
relationships or dynamics at play. It gives you an opportunity to act better towards
Okay.
her.
Yeah, sorry,
all right.
please. What she said right now is actually good, it's nice. And I feel like even if men are going to change, don't let us talk about men of this generation. Let's talk about the men that are coming. And everything is still based on a woman. As a mother, the way you train your male child
Exactly.
determines the kind of man he's going to become when
Very
he grows.
true.
Now, let's talk about house chores. You don't say because you're a male child, you don't
should
wash
not enter
plates,
the
you don't,
kitchen.
you don't enter the kitchen. If your sister is doing this, tell your male child to do it
Something
also.
else, yeah.
If your sister is washing clothes, tell your male child to go and dry it outside.
Yes, yes.
So when you try to train your children together, not based on gender, I feel like they're going to come out to be a great person with good personality.
Exactly.
Now we
Yes.
have men that cooks that they cooks way better than women.
Yes, now.
Men that enjoy cooking, not just because they want to, they enjoy cooking. And we have men that cannot even boil rice. So there's always everything is based on we women, the way we
Yes.
train our children. And also I feel like there should just be more orientation given to the mothers that a male child or a female child, we are all humans.
Yes.
We have the same equality. The only thing I feel is different is just that strength.
Exactly.
I can't carry block, I can't carry big hammer. They
Men
can
don't
do it. But then when it comes to other things, we are the
Yes.
same. We have the same mindset, we have the same orientation, we have the same belief. So if your wife is doing something in the kitchen, you can always take care of the children.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that everything is just about the way they were being brought up. So let's just talk to our mothers, because I'm not gonna lie, I was also a victim of something like that. My younger brother didn't know how to cook. He doesn't know how to do anything, and that's because my mom is always like, you will marry someone. It's you that you go to someone's house.
Yes.
So we should just change that orientation and makes them feel like
goodness.
even if you don't have a wife, you should be able to stand on your, own, cook for yourself, wash your
Yes,
clothes,
those are
clean your
survival
house.
skills, I mean.
Exactly. It shouldn't be based on gender or something.
Yeah.
So that's just it for me.
Okay, so now to our gender. I want to talk about how we portray, I will not say we, but I'll say how some
Okay.
girls
Okay.
portray themselves, especially online social media nowadays. It's like if they have not opened their bodies, if they've not sexualized their bodies, they've not posted, they've not done anything. I feel like these are also the reason why guys to men will just see women as sexual objects. So what advice do you have to women that it's either it's BBL or it is lipo or they are taking this drug or the other, or they are, everything is just about my
satisfy
body,
men.
exactly, like you're living for men. What advice do you have to women?
Women should first of all realize that they are special and they're unique. Because when you fundamentally know that as a woman,
Yes.
you are so unique such that there is no one else like you on the planet, there's this confidence that exudes from you. Because there's something you have to offer to the world beyond your body. Like, I don't know how to say it. How do you not know that you're so beautiful and so wonderfully made that God looked at you and said, yes, this one suits a man?
Yes.
How do you not know that? That means you don't have to try so hard to even get the attention, because naturally you were endowed to get
Yes.
it. Right? So your focus as a woman should first of all be self-awareness. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I here to do?
Okay.
And then focus on discovering your purpose,
Your
your
purpose,
identity.
yeah.
All of that gives you a self-confidence that you don't seek validation from people. Because I feel the reason why many ladies do all of that, the root cause, I believe, is low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem.
You're trying to belong to society. You want to look like everyone. You want to, you're
Yes.
trying so hard. But what you don't understand is all of that attention can come, but what stays with people is impression, is the content. What do you have to offer beyond all of these things that I
Yes.
see? And like I hear people tease people on social media, especially women. Yeah, the physics can attract a man, but what keeps him is the content. So if everything is so glamorous on the outside and then you come and there's nothing,
There's nothing on the inside.
they're going to walk away, right? So I think all of that, it's just secondary. You
Okay.
can accentuate your beauty. I'm never against that. But what's the content? What do you carry? That should be your primary focus. Develop yourself. develop your mind, be better, such that when you walk into a room and you're talking, heads have to turn. Who's that person? That's what makes you a woman. That's the power that you have, So that's just my advice to, younger women out there like us. And thank you.
Jimmy, what advice do you have?
Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to say this. As a woman, you don't have to expose your body just because you're seeking validity, like she
Yes.
said. And I feel men knows what they want. If you expose your body, they're going to admire you, comment on your posts, but obviously they're not going to marry you. I've seen men say this thing like, we're going to sleep with you, but we're not going to put you inside as our wife.
Or
So-
you can even get naked and all of that, as long as you're not my
Exactly.
sister and you're not my
As-
wife or my
yes,
mother.
they used to say something like that. As long as you're not my sister, you're not my relative. So you just have to, have this self-confidence in yourself and respect yourself. I don't know why some women, let me say some because not all,
Yeah.
some already lose their dignity as a woman. There's this thing, if you see all these politician wives or successful women in our society, you see that they're always well dressed.
True.
And they look nice, presentable, and you can't even
The way they
approach
carry
them. The way
themselves.
they carry themselves.
Thank you.
You can't approach them anyhow. But you see those ones that are just seeking validation from men.
You can easily spot them.
Exactly. You can easily spot them. And at the end of the day, they don't get what they want.
Yes.
The only thing they
Exactly.
get is just people sleeping with you, giving you small money, and you wearing trendy outfits and living that flashy life you want to live.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But as a woman, are you able to fulfill what you're here for? Because as human being, normally we have our purpose in life. Are you
Yes.
able to fulfill it? Are you just here just to like share yourself among men? Just think about your life, think about your family, because at least you're representing one family.
Exactly.
You need
Yeah.
to represent in a way that when other generation comes, because there's this thing I used to see online that when our children come and they start seeing, or especially all these news that is always leaking online, people is like, when our children come and they start seeing their mothers or their
I tell
grandmothers
you.
nudes online, like
Because-
how would they feel? You have reputation to protect.
Yes.
So just try to like do your thing, be yourself, and respect yourself. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. It's been really insightful. So to just wrap things up, let me ask the last question. What can we do to increase the representation of women in leadership positions? We've been talking about how, it's restricted, this one down. So what can we even do to help ourselves?
So I think it begins from the policy.
Okay.
We need to sort of implement policies that increase women representation in certain offices. Because the truth is, if these policies are not in place and they are not implemented, there's only so much we can do. We can
Okay.
just keep talking, but there's nothing to
True,
back
true.
it up really. And then beyond stating all these policies, let them be implemented. So, for example, if you say that in a certain industry or sector, so percentage of women should be represented, you ensure that happens. You follow through, right? Then at the end of the day, everyone knows they has to comply. Men know that it's not about me anymore. There's a policy that has stated that women should have this level of power, and then they are
Yes.
forced to comply. So at the policy level, which is the highest level, I feel there should be more policies in every sector of society that encourages women participation, education, health, finance, name it. Do not leave women behind, because we have seen over time that they have a lot to offer to us, right?
Yes.
So I think the government has a lot to still do in this space. It begins from them, and then every other thing is going to definitely fall in place. Yeah. And I think one second suggestion I'm also going to make is that I think as a man, every man out there, you want to be sure that you are playing your part.
Okay.
Because a woman can only do as much as she can. But whenever we see you as a man, even though you're the only one in the room standing up for us, it means a lot. So don't wait for every other man to sort of support.
Yeah.
Be the first person. Make the change.
Okay.
Start making the steps. Become a women advocate in your space, wherever you find yourself. Stand up for women. And then you find out that you are influencing the circle around you, and that goes on, and that goes on, and the change begins and continues from there.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Okay, I'm going to add this to it. As a woman who is able to, ascertain a certain level in the society, we also have some works to put in.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our first ladies, or let's say women in politics.
Yeah.
You don't have to seek validation from men, like we said earlier. Being a woman and being in that position, I feel you can always try to bring in more women into that system. Some things we see online where our politicians, because me, I always talk about the politics part.
Yes.
Our politicians, where they say they are empowering women, and you see them buying grinding machine, buying rice and all. That is not what we call empowerment. When you want to empower women,
Yeah.
you just like put them through that same line that you have.
Yes,
just
put them
because
in
you
that
want-
same office.
exactly. So we can
That's it.
always have larger, percentage of women in that line.
Yeah.
Not you just buying grinding machine and giving them money to start this
Petty
kiosk
business.
business. No, it's not going to work like that. And when we look at the men side now,
Yeah.
you always see them bringing in their son, their in-laws,
True.
bringing in. Then why can't women do the same thing? So I feel if we can all this women supporting women thing, I feel like it's only online when we are ranting and talking about
Yeah.
certain things. But when it comes to helping each other to get to higher level,
Yeah.
I don't think we are doing that very well. So if we women that we are already in that good level, that high level, if we can always bring people who shows the
Yes.
interest to that same place, I feel like it's going to work out well for us. So that's
Okay.
it.
Thank you very much, Ejiroloki, for gracing the occasion. Thank you, Jumoke. It's been really beautiful, insightful, and I'm sure we've learned one or two from this episode. And as always, do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at AATV_Nigeria. I remain your host, Joy Kayode. See you next time.
This is Aquamaka TV.
The pride of African entertainment.